Yeah, hi. This past week was a very, very busy week in Manhattan in the diamond and jewelry world. Many people were in town for the Gem Awards Friday night and the 24 karat event on Saturday night. And as a result, the Wednesday and Thursday beforehand were filled with different networking events, dinners, lunches. I had the pleasure of meeting with Amber Pepper. Amber is the new head of the Natural Diamond Council. She was supposed to have been in town, but unfortunately had to change her plans at the last minute, and she remained home in London. Nevertheless, we met over Zoom, which albeit is not the same, but it turned out to be a terrific conversation. I really like her, and I think she's going to be terrific for the NDC and, of course, in turn, for our industry. We spoke about many issues and threw around many different ideas. And my most important message to her, I think, was that she should be strong enough to make her own mark and not be afraid to go out of the box and do things much differently than how they were currently being done, whatever that means and whatever shape that may take. One of the topics we discussed that I wanted to share with you today is the notion that size does not matter. Now, before any of you jump down my throat and accuse me of being inappropriate, what I mean is the following. In the past, couples who were getting engaged purchased a diamond ring and proudly and happily sported it on their finger, the diamond that their budget allowed. Decades ago, I remember when the average engagement ring was 40 points in America. And over the decades, that crept up to, I believe, 70, 75 points. However, with the advent of synthetic diamonds, which, as we all know, can be purchased for under $100 a carat and has zero resale value in the wholesale market, many have chosen to prioritize size over authenticity and buy a much larger synthetic diamond than their budget would allow for in a natural stone. I find this to be puzzling and somewhat alarming. When you are celebrating one of life's most meaningful moments, shouldn't the diamond itself have a story measured in billions of years and not weeks in a factory? The question is not how big the diamond is. The question is how real the moment is that you're celebrating. I was speaking with my friend Mike Asher of Royal Asher, who together with a Japanese partner owns a Royal Asher jewelry store in Tokyo. And he tells me that in Japan, they're still selling boatloads of 30, 40, and 50-point engagement rings. He explained how the Japanese culture, which is thousands of years old, tends to prioritize nature and authenticity much more deeply than we sometimes do here in the United States. Amber and I discussed the notion of embarking on a campaign that will make people proud to be wearing a smaller natural diamond, and that it's not the size that matters, but rather the authenticity, the rarity, and the knowledge that only something billions of years old can truly do justice when embarking on one of the most important journeys of one's life, starting out with a new life partner. This is but one of the few ideas that she will surely be working on, restoring the glory of natural diamonds, something that we somehow diminished amongst a segment of our population over these past number of years. Now, don't get me wrong. I love big diamonds. My father, Marvin Samuels, was one of the first to start buying large and important rough diamonds and made some of the world's most famous polished diamonds. I make a good part of my living on selling large diamonds. And of course, women like large diamonds. That has always been true, and it always will be true. I'm not suggesting otherwise, and there's no point in denying that. But the goal should be to buy the largest natural diamond that comfortably fits within your budget, not to sacrifice authenticity, rarity, and preciousness simply to get a larger stone. Because in the end, size truly does not matter if you are being real. The preciousness of natural diamonds, the knowledge that these miracles of nature formed billions of years ago create so much good in the world and can mark a momentous occasion while retaining value for generations to come. This is what's important. Size doesn't matter, authenticity does. And I have no doubt that Amber will figure out how to amplify that message along with many other important messages that need to be heard. I wish her much luck, and I am sure she will prove to be a major asset in our industry. Good luck, Amber.